It's time for a highly anticipated Pool D matchup of the men's division here at the 2025 Division III College Championships. Lewis and Clark, Middlebury, set to go to battle here. A spot in the quarterfinals on the line. You couldn't ask for much more here in the rainy conditions in Burlington, Washington. Theo One here with Kelsey Percy. Weather going to play a factor throughout this weekend. We're seeing it here today.
Yeah, we've seen things dry up for a second. It almost like tempts you, and then the rain is back, and those conditions are definitely affecting play, Theo. We've seen, double-digit for both teams turn points, but we're seeing teams start to adjust, start to make those changes, and it's who can make those adjustments in real time, who can play to the conditions and really rise to the occasion.
We're seeing here Pool D. That's Middlebury and Lewis and Clark, both 2-0. And this is a spot, like I said, for a bye into the quarterfinal round. The second and third teams in the pools will have to play in pre-quarters in a little bit of crossover action. And that's sort of what we have in the lay of the land. We've seen Richmond going 0-2, the 10 seed, as Claremont got a huge upset in Pool C.
Yeah, keep an eye on Pool A, because the outcome of this next round, things could go a lot of different ways. But we are having tons of fun over here. Pool D, that 5-4 matchup. Pool D just looks so intimidating, right? Because you got all those near stakes. But let's talk a little Peter Mans, player out of Minnesota. One of those cool things, Theo, that I've actually coached that kid. And he is the real deal. He is explosive. He's got an arsenal of throws, and going to be a player. You can see that goals, assists, getting the block in there too. Someone that's really going to drive that prankster offense. Was just electric after that win over Wesleyan. Wesleyan had mounted a comeback, and then prankster's able to shut them down and put them into position for that nice spot in bracket play.
Max Zorin, a captain on this team, earned a U24 tryout as well. Two-time All-Region player, first-team All-American. Those are some of the accolades for number 7. And we're going to see him make a big impact on this team. A lot of his impact felt on D, but also going to be an offensive force as well for this Bacchus side, coming out in the white jerseys.
Theo, and I have to ask, what do you think of those white jerseys? The traditional Bacchus, almost marbling, like statue action going on. What's your take?
I like the clean jerseys. I've seen the polos. Richmond had the polos in warm-ups. I like that as well, but I like the clean look. What a pull catch to get things going here on the stream. We thank you for tuning in wherever you are in the country. Orlando Impus now, the lefty, gets a reset, fighting Charlie Wagner.
Stapp running very deep here for Lewis and Clark. They know a little bit. They've studied up on Middlebury and kind of adjusted their stack. They want to play off the front. And so we'll see how that strategy adjustment pays off.
Two 2-0 teams going at it. Heavyweight clash as the weather, wind definitely picking up compared to the last broadcast we just had. Akshay Bhatia's throw not going to work out. A rookie on this team, or excuse me, second year on the team.
And look at those flags in the background. You'll see why that throw just turned over and kind of died. And here in the opposite direction, laid out, but D's back and forth.
Bacchus able to retain possession there. Big throw going up. Peter Mans, player to watch. You see why.
Getting the body in there and then snatching. A lot of contact. It might be a foul call on that turn. Jory
Dahl, number 53, the intended target. He gets this batted out before the disc or play can even start. Jory Dahl now resets it. Disc now in the hands of Max Rogers. Rogers, a Donovan finalist, airing this one out. Great effort from Aiden DiLorenzo. He's a player that I know we had players to watch, but keep an eye out for number 17 as well.
DiLorenzo definitely someone that was highlighted to us as a player who is, I think the expression was, a magician of a defender. We're going to see how well he locks down on defense here. Both teams showing they are not afraid to go for the deep ball.
Impes trying to air this one. Mans is there. And a second straight deep block from Peter Mans.
Big elevation there. We've seen a lot of tall players, but it's fun seeing a player play so tall. But now we've had a lot of turns back and forth. Would love to see a little bit more possession focus. Seeing more patience from Middlebury right now.
And that's a break to start off this contest. Louis DeVille Bodwin finding Oscar DeSwan Aarons.
And you saw Sam London get a finger on it. Disc had some wobble, but the focus, Middlebury clocks it in. That's a lot less messy than our first half, Theo. I'm getting excited for this matchup. You see the pressure and the intensity that both teams bring. Watch that again. Just tipped it, almost got it, but enough spin on that disc to get it there for the goal.
Showing some love is the rookie there. DeSwan Aarons. Played on the B team last season. Back out on defense is Middlebury. 1-0 the scoreline. The team from Middlebury, Vermont, up ahead. In this, I would say it's always a highly anticipated contest because it's the 4-5 matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, there's a lot of hype going into this, a lot of question of, like, when you've got the 5-4, like, it's so close, right? We're talking small margins. And in a tournament where the top six aren't separated by that much.
A lot of talk has been there's Davenport at the top and perhaps a lot of teams trying to fight for that second spot in the final, but I'm sure they have a lot to say about that. Can't just gift a spot in the finals to a team like Davenport. They're going to have to work for it throughout this tournament. As Bacchus back out on offense. It's Topher Olsen. She has it now. Finding London. London, the ex-varsity soccer player, finding Impis across the field. Now Olsen, they have it now. High stall with DiLorenzo on the mark. Gonna go with a cheeky hammer and a sweet grab being made by Jonas Bray. Wow.
That is an electric play, and if you're Middlebury, you've got to be a little frustrated. They had shut down every option. Topher Olsen instead going for the breakout. You know, if you're gonna send it towards the end zone. Make it playable. That was a big play, and you know, big kudos to Jonas Bray on being heads up enough to chase that one down. Take another look at this. High stall, looking, head on a swivel, points, and just pops it just enough to hit that soft spot. It's another view. Point. Toss, pulled the defense in, and you know, almost an advantage in that Sam London really flushed the defense off of that front cone by coming in so close. Defense collapsed, created that soft spot just on the front of the end zone.
Big thing there, too, was the patience from Olsen. The stall was climbing, but still they were able to figure out the defense and eventually slice in that hammer.
Absolutely, Theo. That had to have been stall 8, stall 9 territory.
Middlebury out on offense. Nadab Melamed, third year on the team. Centering the disc to Ger Hartle. Hartle wearing his signature hat. I've seen that before at a D3 tournament. Peter Mann's out on this O-line. The lefty going with the righty to zip it up to Gavin Rice. A couple of lefties on this O-line really going to add some dynamism to your offense, and we're seeing that there with Rice and Mans.
Yeah, if you could teach lefty, it is such a cheat code. Huge up there for the score.
Big grab. Gavin Rice. And big plays coming out right now.
Gavin, one of the captains of this prankster team, showing athleticism. That was, I won't say a prayer, but definitely hung up more than I think they wanted it to. But going up big, confident, past the defense, pulls it in. And then hams it up a little bit for the camera.
What I always like to see is the alumni presence. Middlebury is one of the top alumni presences in all of D3. They got a great culture. And we're seeing that right there with a lot of alumni in the house.
Yeah, look this again. The pressure was right there. Sam London was on his heels, but Rice elevates, brings it in. Pranksters looking good so far this game. Lewis and Clark, opportunity now, put their offense back on. They've been dynamic, really stretching the width of the field. Both these teams, as I mentioned, not afraid to go deep.
They're going to come out in a signature vertical stack, noted before the game from their coaching staff. Going to see a lot of cuts from the front as they notice Middlebury's kind of poaching defensive set from the back of that stack. A lot of bidding attempts from Middlebury trying to make a play on the live stream. We love that. Charlie Wagner finding Jonas Bray, the lone goal scorer so far for this Lewis and Clark side. Great pressure there. Turnover now as Middlebury trying to score their third point of the contest, trying to get another break to their belt.
Yeah, just slips through the hands of Fishman Morin. Big opportunity here for Middlebury. They'll send it out in front.
Jory Dahl getting large, climbing that ladder.
First break of the game goes to Middlebury. You see the second break, thank you, Theo, of the game goes to Middlebury. You see the energy. And this has been a day with the rain, with the cold, with the wind, all of these things that can just really slow you down and kind of beat on you a little bit. Teams that are bringing the energy, that are using their sideline, that are really leveraging, are the ones that across the board are either coming out on top or really testing opponents that in theory should be handling them. Another look at this shot. Kind of fading. Defensive pressure with there, but Dahl brings it in.
We know Ultimate's a game of momentum right now. It's clearly on the side from Vermont right now. Their energy is higher. We've seen Lewis and Clark look a little bit shell-shocked to start this game. Of course, a lot of contests left, but certainly you need to get out to that hot start if you're going to deal with some of the defensive pressure we're seeing from Middlebury, bidding at every throw basically on underneath.
That's a good precedent to set. As a defense, you are absolutely winning when you make the offense have to think about what they're doing, rather just operate on instinct.
Memphis looking for Sam London. London putting this deep, looking for Farley, excuse me. Now Max Warren. Warren needing a reset. Stahl rising and some miscommunication with London.
And seeing a little bit of crossover from Middlebury, this could play as they try to string a double break together. That's Peter Mans picking up the disc.
Slide and grab from Aiden Di Lorenzo. Swan Aarons zipping it through, finding the aforementioned Di Lorenzo. Over to Mans. Mans finding a very open Duval Bodwin, and it's a 4-1 start for this Middlebury side.
Theo, you talked about coming out hot. Middlebury showing it. Tell you what, that early momentum, if you can keep driving, you can really get in another team's head. This is where that resilience, good leadership, these can pay. You know, and it's interesting, especially from a team, you know, Middlebury one that has played most of the season without coaches. They've picked one up. Hannah Baranis coming in, and they said huge part to their sectionals, regionals, and now nationals, really able to buy them, the captains, some more mental bandwidth, commit more of themselves to the field. And I think you're seeing that commitment right now. So the question here for Lewis and Clark, for their leadership, how do they steady the ship? You know, and a lot of times it's going to be going back to basics. Catches, throws, our game. Don't worry about the pranksters. Don't think about them. Think about us. Play for us.
Great look at Benares right there. And this team has been mostly, throughout their tradition, player-led. So they still have remnants of that, of course. But to have someone be able to take some of the load off the captains, like you mentioned, Kelsey, that's really important. Look at that fire that they're showing right now. On the other side, Lewis and Clark, their body language a little bit different, Kelsey, as they walk to the line on offense.
Body language, so important, Theo. You know, it can be, you could fake yourself into the good chemistry. You know, chest up, shoulders back, head high, you breathe better, your blood runs better. But, like, when we're down, I want my sideline more loud, not less. You know, so big opportunity here. Middlebury, if they can rattle off another one. Be kind of curious if they go to depth or if they keep some of the same players on. But we're seeing some of that same, seeing Impus, seeing London.
So Warren out there as well. Hasn't made an impact yet defensively, but we know that he has the ability to do so. Wagner going to be the center handler once again for this side. Zone look coming out from this timeout from the pranksters.
I like it, Theo. Change it up.
Farley, a veteran on this team who eventually gets a disc moving over to Olsen. So you got to mix up the rookie like Sam London in the backfield. You also got Farley, who's in his 5th year playing with them, with the Bacchus side.
You know, Theo, I want to highlight something. One of the things that we heard from the coaches, the soccer origins of some of the key players, including London. You're almost seeing this like tic-tac-toe bounce it. It's a really great way to play past a zone, and you're seeing efficient spacing as Middlebury now collapses into man.
London, who has a disc now, was the all-region rookie of the year in the Northwest. Moving that one forward. You hear the chili calls. It's going to be across the field, and that looks a little bit more dangerous than it could have been. But second goal for Jonas Bray.
Jonas Bray, second round of acrobatics, second score. You know, all alone playing his space, but I think just underestimated quite how fast it was going. A little bit of a tumble there, but sure, steady hands. And London really orchestrating so much of this. But I like the vision of space from Bray. Attacked that space, called out that he was open, just shaking free from his defender.
Farley with the poise there. He thought about the inside shot first, decided to go cross field instead. And of course, Bray making it a little bit more dangerous than it could have been, but does get the grab. He has the 2 goals that Lewis and Clark has to their name right now. See what their D-line can drum up. We were told before the game, talking with their coaching staff, Ben Whitenack, Jack Hochberg, Sam Frainer, this team is going to cross a lot of over a lot of players, and the lines aren't going to be as open as perhaps other matchups.
Yeah, they know what's at stake. This is a big game. This is the one they really want to take care of business because it's so advantageous if they can. But now with some break points to make up, they want their defense to put some pressure. Middlebury offense needs to take care of business.
Looking Looking like a force middle here from the Lewis and Clark side. Work a little give and go was Charlie Harder and Hartle. See the quick disc movement from this Middlebury side right now as Man's moving it forward along with Rice, and so fast you can't even say all their names quick enough as Hartle trying to find Melamed in the end zone.
So it looks like pick call. There was some confusion as to who enacted the pick and who was close enough to actually make it happen, but disc will go back.
Hartle. Nice little move, but doesn't get the throw thrown from Mans. Mans instead resetting it to Rice. And eventually Hartle will get the score. DeSwan Aaron's having a great game so far, the rookie, number 14. Throwing another assist.
Double score continuing to be the way to go for the win. We've seen that play several times so far today, Theo. Pranksters still riding high. Their offense takes care of business. They get to put the defense back out. Again, watch how smooth these spaces are. Just good timing. Knows the lane, knows the flow. Looking real smooth.
Duville Baldwin set to pull once again for Middlebury. Been a steadying force for them. 2 assists, a goal to his name, and a big-time puller for them as well.
Theo, I've been really impressed with Impus, just that off the front kind of striking cut. Impus is executing it so well. Now setting up the power position, disc deep. And Ben Eichel just cruises. That is exactly what Lewis and Clark wanted.
Hey, 3 scores that they have. I've been on clean holds, so don't turn it over. It looks like you're going to score. That's the trend right now.
When they're in flow, they just look like absolute perfection. Look at the touch. All out in front, doesn't have to slow down. That's beautifully executed.
This Lewis and Clark side has a large senior class, so certainly trying to rely on that right now. So they're down a couple scores, yet to get a break. Middlebury's offensive line has yet to have a turnover. Certainly you have to dial up some more defensive pressure if they want to squeak their way back into this contest.
You know, and 3-5 is dangerous because it's not that far apart. You can't get overconfident. You're still in the first half. But it's enough of a cushion that if they get, one more break, pretty close to half, they could end up the half with a really tight score. Lewis and Clark really needs to get another break this half, close that down. And now their D-line with an opportunity to exert that pressure.
I've yet to see Max Warren make a huge defensive play. He's matched up with Peter Mans right now in the stack. Keep an eye out for number 7 in white as the disc working through Rice and DeSwan Aarons, who's, like I said already, has had a great contest. First year on the team. He's going deep. So it's an underneath to Cutler. Harder back to Hartle. Now DeSwan Aarons, this throw too far. Great attempt from Melamed, but that's the first turnover for this offensive line of Middlebury and a chance for this D-line of Bacchus to get on the board. Toby Rivera, a veteran on this team, set to walk it up. Big grab there for Rakshay Bhatia. Mentioned the soccer background of London. Bhatia as well, also on the varsity soccer team along with London. So more dual sport transplants. And speaking of London, he has a disc now on D-line. You know, he's got the endurance playing that soccer.
Run forever.
Or football, wherever you are watching. Maybe you call it that.
Football, Theo.
Football, yeah, exactly. Bhatia, power position. No one going deep, though. Underneath to Helper and Lang.
Well, and Theo, you said soccer background, but still also playing varsity soccer. Playing both sports simultaneously. Endurance for days.
Speaking of that soccer player, that's London airing this one out. Good pressure from Hartle. Making sure that was not reeled in by Levi Stahl.
Maybe just too confident. Wide open, bounced off the chest, just had a little bit of zip to it, maybe an awkward angle. The big opportunity here for pranksters.
An 0-2, so to speak, as Melamed putting out this backhand. Rice perhaps running out of gas.
And you heard a little bit of the sideline. Rice pulling up maybe just as the disc was slowing down. Tough one there, but I think electing to save his energy for the next point instead of making the bid. One thing Middlebury did do there is they moved the disc the whole length of the field, and so Lewis and Clark will now have to march back the other direction.
Bhatia for this LNC side. Big shoulder fake. Instead it's an underneath to Stahl. Great around mark from Hartle, making Stahl go to a high Stahl hammer to no one. That's on the mark. That's an unsung play. That's not going to count down as a block on the stat sheet, but you might as well from Hartle. Little scuba. And some pressure from the Bacchus side, making that offensive player have to come forward a bit as well.
And Theo, for the first time, we're starting to see a little bit of frustration from the Middlebury side. You know, didn't like that look, want some different options, but we're also starting to see, you know, our first couple injuries.
Farley coming in on the Lewis and Clark
Players,
side.
are we good?
Bodwin on the Middlebury side.
83 right here. We're live.
The players are well trained for the camera. We love it. We've seen that throughout this tournament so far. Rivera, another lefty out on this field. Mans providing coverage, so was Hartle. Mans has been great in the air so far for this Middlebury side.
Love it when short men have hops, but I love the double coverage there, the help. Garrett Hartle providing that front, making the Lewis and Clark player go up, and then Mans sweeping from behind. Lightning attack here by Middlebury.
Hartle having to stretch for that one. He's going to spike it with some passion as they double up this Lewis and Clark side.
Some more resistance. Lewis and Clark able to turn up the pressure. Middlebury with a couple of unforced errors, but able to put it away, maintain their 3-point lead. Really starting to see what both of these teams are made of.
This Bacchus side started out on offense, so they are down 3 breaks currently. If you finish first in the pool, which is what's on the line here in this contest, both teams coming in 2-0, is a bye into that quarterfinal round. Having to not play an extra game, that's huge, especially early in the morning tomorrow.
Another look at this, taking the inside lane and then the offhand throw. Just the way that they're finding angles to get the space that they want. Middlebury.
Fans out in full force here, and I think for Middlebury. I think they're out in full force. I mean, I believe there should be some Lewis and Clark fans. They're not far away in Oregon. Another sliding pole catch. They had that first one as well on the first point of the game. So they're living on the edge. But pole collection is really important. We talked about it on the last broadcast as well. Farley. Couple of fakes, eventually finding Impus. Shifty lefty for this team. Has really kept the offense moving. Two players there, but it'll be Impus who gets the score. Ben Eichel throwing that one.
You know, Theo, I gotta say, so far, I think Impus is my favorite player to watch this game. Like, there's people do it, but just the swagger, the speed and explosiveness, that, you know, this is my space. And watch, just concentration, focus, other things going on in the periphery, but locked in gets the score.
Third year on the team from Seattle, Washington, playing Club Ultimate with Seattle switchback. And an all-region player this year in the Northwest is Orlando Impus. You see why. Peter Mans talking to the team as they come out of their offensive point, have yet to be broken in this contest so far. And they've had to deal with some losses. Someone you might know, Kelsey Malachi Raymond, not on the team. Coleman Bashore, Ethan LaValle are some of the players that they don't have in tow this year. And some other players are going to have to step up, and that's just the nature of College Ultimate. And they've had someone like Oscar DeSwan Aarons stepping up as a rookie on this team.
Yeah, turn and turn again. That is the nature of college. But, you know, the pedigree. This program has been so good at just restocking and carrying forward.
Great 7 cut from Hartle. Not in the end zone, looking for the observer call. Lefty to Mans, not going to work out. Zorin gets his first block. Batia lots of time. Finding Zorin. Bacchus on the move here, hunting for their first break of the contest. Both O and D lines coming on that vertical stack each time. Harder crossing over from O, playing mostly O. Wagner, excuse me. Great bidding effort, the right hand, Aiden Jacobs. I don't know if he would have been in even if he caught it. And I think he might have blown out his cleat or something.
That was an incredible effort, Theo.
You have an injury section.
Look at that. Incredible effort. The extension, the impact of the hit.
On the back is turnover.
Something I will say, though, because of that effort, because of the contact, Middlebury having to take it on the cone on that corner instead of further up the line where it first went out of bounds.
Duville Baldwin. Did that throw get touched? I don't think so. Just a turnover into the ground. Wagner to Rivera. Zorin banding out this backhand. Elevation from Leo Farley.
That's a huge one, Leo. Lewis and Clark is electrified. This has been a game of just showing out on the athleticism side. Middlebury had not flinched up to this point. Lewis and Clark needed to get this one back, closing about of the gap. And now they get to pour it back, and Middlebury will have to trot out their line again.
It's a great bendy backhand, as I mentioned, from Zworin. We saw one they were trying earlier that Jacobs couldn't get, but they get a second opportunity with Duvel-Baudouin's turnover. Benares out there talking to this Middlebury offensive line. That's the benefit you have with the coach that, like I said before, we haven't really seen from this Middlebury side.
Seeing London back out there for this Lewis and Clark D-line. Excellent work from our crew to get that close-up shot, and you're just seeing the posture. One big play can totally swing the energy your direction, and now I want to see Lewis and Clark capitalize on it. I want to see them really pressure up. If they can get, because it's almost exactly the same line out there for Middlebury. If they can really put the pressure on, get a double turn, then Middlebury has to choose who they put out there. That's the beauty of the double break. Really turns the screws on the other team's offense.
Similar suspect like Rice, Mans, and Hartle on the field. DiLorenzo's out there as well.
You see Middlebury comfortable with this forced middle. They know the angles to the take and where to attack. A lot of tight windows, though.
Mans finding DiLorenzo. Hartle makes his defender go on skates, and he's pumped up once again. He gets a lot of passion when he scores, number 83.
He's earned it. Some big plays. That's a crucial hold for Middlebury. They will hold their 2-goal lead, and that puts them 1 point away from half. Yeah, you see the spike, you see the enthusiasm. Middlebury absolutely hyped up. They could have been in a much tougher place, but instead they put that one away. Yeah, and you can see Coach Hannah Benares saying, smile, get happy, celebrate that. Yeah, they got broken, but then they took care of business, and now they get to put their D-line out with a chance to take half.
Should we get 3 DBs?
Hannah Benares named to the mixed squad here as an assistant coach for the U24 team.
So big, deep breath there. Love that. That's culture right there. Big situations. Don't get too high. Don't get too low. Stay in the middle. Stay where you can execute. And you kind of heard it. Smile, get happy, be in this for your teammates. Big opportunity here for Middlebury if they can put the pressure on, and we're going to see a couple crossovers.
Mans and Melamed out on the field. DeSwan Aarons as well. Duvel-Baudouin's been getting a lot of burn on both sides. DiLorenzo as well. So certainly really stocked up, powerful defensive line as they're trying to break for half here. And this Middlebury side has had opportunities to take on D1 competition this year, like Tufts in Wisconsin, so they're battle tested.
And so one of the things, Theo, that you heard Coach Benares saying for Middlebury was energy comes from the sideline. She wanted to see the sideline up and big. You can hear them in the background cheering their defensive line on.
This pull's going to roll, and Olsen will have to now find Wagner.
And with that roll, Stack very, very deep. Could get into trouble, but instead breaking free.
DeVille Bodwin calling a push-off foul on his offensive check in Wagner.
Like, there was definitely contact because you absorbed the body, which is legal. But I don't think I pushed you. Okay, I felt your body, and then I think I felt this. But if you think you used my body first, I'll go like this. I mean, I think my hands were just like up there, but I don't think I actively pushed. Because I just stopped. Okay, that's fine. Retracted foul. We'll stay here.
Theo, I like that. Some discussion. Okay, the initial call, but with the discussion and what thought happened, Middlebury player retracting the call, disc will stay.
Big hand block from DeVille Bodwin, getting the sideline fired up as they have their powerful defensive line on. See what they can do on this offense. Their possession now. Mans, Deswan Aarons. This would be for half.
A little chaotic there in the red zone.
Big block, Farley. Had the big sky earlier, gets one in the end zone. In his own end zone, I should say. Oil throw.
That's a definite opportunity lost. Would have loved to see maybe a reset option instead of being so focused on the score. But another opportunity here for the Pranksters. Unforced error by Lewis and Clark.
This Vermont outfit certainly getting opportunities. Can they punch it in now? DeVille Bodwin. He gets blocked by Farley. And that's not a foul reaction, but there is a foul call, or excuse me, a travel call back with Mans and Zwerrin.
Yeah, play stopped right when the player caught it. So travel called, throw, he catches it, then play stops right then. There's no continuation? There's one continuation. Okay. Travel, no contest.
How interesting, Theo. And that feels like that shouldn't happen.
That helps out Middlebury for sure.
It helps out Middlebury. I'd almost say like advantage should go the other way. Like you should be able to retract that call. But instead, Middlebury with the disc, second opportunity to break. Man's playing through the contact. Small window.
Finds Deswan Aarons for the break, and it's halftime. Middlebury's up 8-5. Look at that.
Yeah, Middlebury's been in control pretty much this entire game. They are showing a lot of defensive spice, some good poise on offense. Still some upward ceiling. Theo, a couple errors that did not need to happen, but they are getting it done when it counts. What do we expect to see from Lewis and Clark? They definitely, can drive more. They're getting good motion off the front of their stack, but they're losing to that second layer, that continuation cut, and not, I think, exerting enough pressure yet on Middlebury on the defensive side of things. So big second half opportunity for both teams. Lewis and Clark has some work to do.
They certainly do, and they have a three-headed coaching staff to do so. See Mans there and DeVille Bodwin. They're discussing things with their coach. Like we keep talking about, I bring up this point a lot because this is not something we've seen from Middlebury in the past.
And the pup love, as always. If you know us at Ultiworld, you know that we love our pup takes, and that is one happy, bouncy pup. But yeah, I agree. Coach Menard is probably telling Peter Mans just to slow it down, not to hold on to that unforced error in the red zone, but definitely could have done better.
Joined here by one of the Lewis and Clark coaches, Sam Frainer. Sam, the first half, you saw Middlebury go on a little bit of a run to start out 4-1. What were you seeing from your offense, and what adjustments are you trying to make potentially?
Yeah, I think it's just about pace of play. I think that we were taken out of our comfort zone, and we just need to adjust to the way that they're really just working a physical defense against us. Yeah, it's about pace.
Coach, some really big plays by Leo Farley. Tell me a little bit about what you're seeing from him.
He's a dog. Leo Farley is, he's the heartbeat of this team. Everybody lives and breathes for what Farley does. They listen to his voice first, and I couldn't be prouder of him. He's come a long way. I've been coaching him for since he was a sophomore, and the guy is the real deal. So look for a big half out of him.
And you have some other real deals, some soccer player transplants. Talk about that connection with some of these varsity soccer players coming onto your squad.
Yeah, we got AK, and we have Sam London. Sam's rocking the khaki pants, and you might see him out there just carving offenses up. He's actually Lewis and Clark's star soccer player as well, and he loves to cross over for Ultimate. It's his first love. We're very happy to have him on the team.
That's really cool. We're hoping to see more of them as you try to make a run here in this second half, and wish you the best of luck in that.
Yeah, thanks all.
Lewis and Clark, they're ready for that huge comeback attempt right now as they sit with a 3-goal deficit, down 8-5.
On the grand stage, the key possession. Huge bid, gets the
It's a great opportunity for the Germans, and they break with ease.
throw it the full 80 yards to the field. Are you kidding me? And an incredible pair. Are you kidding me? Oh my God! One of the plays of the year.
Come here, come a little closer. Don't be afraid, no, I don't wanna hurt you. A little more, come in, let me just show you. Don't know, can't talk, let me just show you. Don't be obsessive, it could be intensive, it could be explosive, it could be offensive. Don't be defensive, don't be aggressive, it will be a waste, it could be expensive. Don't be obsessive, it could be intensive, it could be explosive, it could be offensive. Don't be defensive, don't be...
Get the ultimate news you need to know with the Deep Look podcast. I'm Charlie Eisenhood.
And I'm Keith Rayner, and together we bring the games, names, and moments in Ultimate to your podcast feed. We talk Ultimate's biggest news from on and off the field about and with the people making it.
And every week we go live on YouTube. Come join the fun, the trivia, the picks, the analysis, and more Tuesdays at noon Eastern Time.
We'll see you there.
Hey yo, the rain was steady pouring, heard the drops, this is meant to be. Chilling in my crib, no doubt. Beat the scenery, telephone rang, then it stopped before I could answer it. I heard a knock at the door, so I answered it. And with Jermaine, he had a little situation. Beef up on the block, and off the doctor led the confrontation. He said these cats be acting hard on the block.
You're watching the D3 College Championships 2025 edition here from Burlington, Washington. Take a look at the game stats as we got Middlebury and Lewis and Clark in a tight matchup. 8-5 the scoreline for Middlebury right now. You see the clean holds. They got 4 clean holds, this Lewis and Clark, but they've also bled a few more breaks. And that's why we see the scoreline the way it is. And Middlebury's actually going to start on offense here. So a lot of work for this LNC side to do as they try to make a comeback. Theo on here with Kelsey Percy. Kelsey, what'd you see there in the first half?
Well, Theo, one of the things I want to highlight is not just breaks, but break efficiency, right? More breaks with a small number of chances.
Rivera, big. I love talking about southpaws in Ultimate because I think they just add so much. And there's a lot of southpaws on the field right now from both sides. So Rivera with the lefty pull there. Here, D up being called from the LNC side. They need some D right now if they want to come back in this game. Need to get some blocks. Mans working against Warren. That's the same matchup that's been happening all first half. Top defender on top offensive player. Throw popped up. Just want Aaron's second effort over London. Zipping it into the end zone. Finding Harder.
Second time, I think, that London got a piece of it, but it's had enough zip that it's still getting where it needs to go. That's a really nice hold from Middlebury to start off the first half.
During that halftime, we saw Batia, one of the soccer players that Coach Sam Frainer talked about, leading the huddle, trying to get some energy for this team here as we see that second effort move. And where are they going to get some of that energy from? We've talked about it in the last broadcast there, Kelsey, that sometimes just a layout, even to save a disc or a huge throw, just something to try to manufacture some of that for your team.
Yeah. I've been with teams before where sometimes it's an actual conversation. Who's going to be that person to step up? Is it going to be you? Is it going to be you? Like, anyone can step up. Anyone can make that play. Who's going to step up and make that and, like, create that energy for your team?
This Lewis and Clark side, they've only lost 3 games on the year, all to teams at this tournament, 2 to Whitman and then 1 to Wesleyan. So they've been battle-tested as well with wins over Claremont and Richmond, who both are in Pool C at this tournament. So a 20-3 record on the year, and they're going to need to dial into some of those lessons learned if they're going to try to make a little bit of a comeback here. It's Warren. Had Bray going deep. And now it's Mans on Zwerrin on the other side. So both teams understanding the importance of that matchup. Great second effort. It is caught, but disc will remain in the hands of Bacchus. I think there's a pick called there from Jory Dahl, captain on this Middlebury side.
That's a tough one. Huge effort, big energy there. And then the reset, having to slow things down. And we've talked about how stoppages can affect flow for offense.
Can't find the left hand of Olsen there. And here Middlebury a chance to double up their lead to go up 10-5. So this Lewis and Clark D-line really going to have to ratchet up here. DiLorenzo. Inside, finds DeCola. Jack DeCola working with Jasper Percy Khan. Both players getting a little bit more burn right now. Haven't seen them on the field much in this contest so far. Percy Khan now finding Mans. Flipping it over, and Middlebury all the momentum right now. Vincent Sullivan breaks score.
And you know what I liked the most about that point, Theo? How many different Middlebury players touched the disc. They cycled through, I guess, maybe 5 or 6 of their players, not just going through 2 or 3. They are actively clearing, leaning on each other. You're seeing some of the depth of Middlebury right now, and I love it.
We see some of the coaches from LNC. They're kind of talking about what should we do right now. They're kind of look kind of shell-shocked, honestly.
Yeah, it is one of those of like, Theo, you can't change too much. When you are down like this, you don't want to make big changes, but you can't just keep doing the same thing when it's not working. And so part of that is, can you hone in is there something specific that's not working? Is the other team just playing out of their minds? Is it, execution on your own? Find what's, what you think is an issue. If it's on your end, if it's controllable, fix the controllables. Don't pay too much attention to outside of that. You can only do so much.
Zone look here from Middlebury. They've been able to kind of pick and choose the right spots, when to use it, when not to.
Very compact zone compared to some of the others that we've seen today. We've seen a couple 4-person zones, kind of big ranging. This one very tight, trying to take away the throwing windows. But Lewis and Clark very happy to go over the top.
Fire called indicating person defense from this Middlebury side. London around, finding Wagner. Another smooth throw from him. We've heard from Sam Frainer that Ultimate's his first love. You're seeing it with some of these throws he's able to put in his arsenal. Olsen now. Big pump fake. Olsen now. Eventually finding a teammate in Fisherman Morin. Still working in this red zone. Zwerwin outsmarts his defender, waiting for that one. And they needed that hold.
That is a confidence builder for Lewis and Clark. Super smooth. Throws where they wanted him to. Nice to get their offense on the field, off the field, and now a chance for defense to take point. But we are seeing what an impact Zwerwin has on this game. Both sides.
Him and Farley playing with the Oregon Scorch mixed side this past season in the club scene. Mentioned he's a captain on this team, and this Lewis and Clark squad got 4 of them. So like when they can mix, some captains on offense, some on defense, kind of spread them around there. Sam London, I feel like, is going to play every point here on out, Kelsey. Number 6. He is a soccer player, varsity, apparently star soccer player. We've got to pull up his soccer stats, too. I need to see that.
Be fun to match clip for clip. Highlights of soccer with highlights of Frisbee. What characteristics do we see? So do a little cross analysis there.
DeSwan Aarons was going deep, chased in coverage by a defender there, and they're electing to go underneath instead. DeSwan Aarons now.
Playing through a lot of contact. Interesting matchup there. London doing some face guarding very effectively, but Mans gets up.
London was locking down Rice there for sure. And they had to go to kind of a secondary or tertiary option.
Junkie throw, but I made sure I got it out of my hand. Yeah.
So you believe that you said stall? You said you hit 10?
I know I got it out of my hands before 10, so the team.
Okay, and so you can play it as a contest and bring it back, or either of you can come to me for a ruling?
I'll come to you.
Okay, observer ruling that was not a stall, so the result of the play stands. So, when you're ready, you'll do a 3, 2, 1 disc.
So Middlebury keeps the disc, and just like that, they're in.
Melamed second assist, finding Hartle for his 4th goal. That's right, 4th goal of the contest.
Having one heck of a game is Hartle, and you'll see him not just getting all the scores, but all the dance moves too. So let's have another look at what set up that play, that call. Watch the pressure by London. Watch. Rice moves. London never even commits his hips, but the big snag by Mans. And then shortly thereafter, offhand throw, and then right hand into the end zone. And why not? More dance moves.
London did his job. It's just other players from Middlebury got involved, and that's what happened there for Middlebury as they were able to get their 11th score.
But Theo, I want to hit on that one more time, just why I'm so jazzed about that incredible defense that London did. One of the best things is when you can get a defender to commit one direction or the other, when you get them to turn their hips. London did such a bang-up job of not, clip that piece of defense, study it, and use that to coach.
Farley looking for Bray. Great bidding effort, drawing some O's from the crowd. But unfortunately coming up empty if you're a Bacchus fan in the audience watching this. Max Rogers going with the backhand, looking deep. And Duville Bowman got spun around a little bit. Impis providing good defensive coverage.
Did I mention that Impis might be my favorite player?
I think you have, but
but both ways, dude. Explosive cutting, good defensive pressure, wide open on cuts. Okay, I'm done.
Couple switches preventing a deep shot from going up. And now it does that in one-on-one coverage. That's Impis leaking out from the handler space and catching that one.
They better throw up the bookends for Impis. That was one heck of a play and an excellent throw too. Someone at a height disadvantage, Zippy. That throw needs to be out in front. It needs to have enough pace on it so the defense can't catch up, and that was exactly what was executed. Watch this again, Wagner. Just enough. Gets it out there, drops it into the bread basket for Impis.
Wagner, one of two players from the Minneapolis, Minnesota area, along with Farley. So you got some cross-country connections. You often think some of these schools will have more regional, but hey, there's going to be people coming from all over to go play for your team, attend that school.
Pockets of chemistry, and you know, one of the things that we don't talk about that much, but can definitely be play when you're coming from areas like Minnesota or like where we are now, Seattle, that have such strong and vibrant youth scenes. You're going to see some systems of play that start to be taught at that, YCC level. And sometimes if you get a couple players that have gone through those systems together, it's kind of that instant chemistry, right? And you can play into that and take advantage of that.
Rice. A little oil lefty finding harder.
That was a spicy throw from Rice.
It's the new meta, I'm telling you. That's a huge throw right now we're seeing in the game from both either righties or lefties. Who else is finding the end zone but Hartle? Seriously, at this point. He just got nose for the end zone.
But we're... Okay, no. Goal stands. Well, he's offering up 4, but doesn't he have 5?
He's 5 goals by my count.
Doesn't even know how many times he scored. He scored too many.
I'm going to have to ask him about that later.
Not 1, not 2, not 3. But I love this. Attack one direction, now reverse. Go the other way. And the defense is all flushed to the other side.
Deswan Aarons as well, just a first-year player on this team on the A side, 4 assists to his name. Talk about the youth scenes, Hartle playing with Buda, which is out of the Boston area, the U20 YCC squad. He's got 4 goals. There you go. So maybe we're off track here.
He can count. We're off. Yeah, it's been a pretty dominant performance by the Middlebury Pranksters. They're really getting to leverage their depth, flush some new legs out there onto defense, whereas Lewis and Clark looking to hold here, and then they're going to have to do a lot of work to carve their way back into this game. It's not over, but Middlebury sitting at a pretty comfy 5-point lead.
They've had flashes of the potential that they have as this Lewis and Clark side, but haven't really been able to string it together for multiple points where they can go on a big run here. That's not going to help their cause, as trying to find a target but not able to do so was Lewis and Clark.
Lewis and Clark looking for, totally faked out the defender, but unfortunately faked out his own cutter as well.
D up being called from the sideline here. They need it right now. Almost a double team with the center handler, but they're going to throw through it. Liam Reynolds, calm now. Batted and caught by Hayden Herrick. It's a bit of a secondary look from this Middlebury side. No defensive starters right now on the field. Theo Holdsworth now working with Reynolds. He's also rocking the blonde buzz cut for this Middlebury side. Always like to see the different hairstyles you might see at this tournament.
Holdsworth, a true rookie. The freshman, one of the players that we were told was having just a banger tournament so far. And someone that we're getting to see kind of rise to the occasion in real time.
Building the stars of the future. That's what you're doing at these tournaments. You're trying to win, but you're also giving these players some opportunity. Reynolds high stall. Great defensive block. Is there going to be a call? Bray saying no, but that's for his check to the side. Big block from Bray there.
Yeah, that was clamping defense by Lewis and Clark. Middlebury had no options. Imp is surrounded by a wall of Middlebury players, but finds the lane.
Foul called. Let's see if the observers get involved here. It almost looks like Holdsworth is saying, I didn't foul you. But his hand signal is almost like, I don't contest. Let's see.
And I heard a couple players shouting out, dangerous. I think part of that is attacking the lane, but they were both attacking the space. Okay.
That's a classic thing that happens, right, Kelsey, in any game with an observer. The foul, it doesn't get called, and everyone just starts moving.
It says, hold up, wait a minute. I loved that fake, Theo. Airing it out, but a little stagnant off the front. Middlebury, good chance to season its rookies. The visionary shot to the inside.
They're just making layouts for us, some highlights. Reynolds, nice flick, about 10 yards away from the end zone. Holdsworth finding Reynolds. They're working a little give-go here. A pick was called, but that turnover is going to stand.
Yeah, kind of tough. Holdsworth very much isolated.
Impis catching that one. I like to see that they decide not to call a timeout, because often you see cutters with no one around going to call a timeout, but instead they're going to let their offense continue on the move. Wagner. That throw was batted but caught. Huge grab, keeping things alive. And their game hopes alive.
Lewis and Clark with the circus catch, ricochets off. That was nuts. Watch that again. Wagner put so much sauce on this inside, ricochets off of Bray. And that's just an incredible heads-up reaction.
The question is, does Bray get an assist for batting it off there? Does he get one? Does he get like a half assist?
That's a classic one. If you know, put it in the chat. We'd love to hear.
Toby Rivera ready to lead this Lewis and Clark D-line charge here. expect to see Zwerwin on the field. Sam London also out there in Batia. Melamed not happy with the contact from Rivera there, but playing through it, deciding not to call a foul. Mans. Rice is going to the deep space. Batia slow to get there, but they don't throw it. You see Cutler, who's 15. I haven't said his name much, but he's also a rookie on this squad, getting a lot of burn on the offensive line. Play a little stop and go with some of these calls happening.
I don't have a perspective on the count, so.
A couple of first-year players going at it.
First number you say will be 7? Okay.
And DeSwan Aarons will have to get it out pretty quickly here with the count starting at 7. Reset to Mans. DeSwan Aarons evading the contact on Zwerwin or the attempted block, retaining possession. A lot of poise for number 14 right now. Been really impressed with him. Mans finds a target. A lot of contact there. But Neil Cutler will get the grab.
A lot of contact. And you're seeing Middlebury choose to just kind of shake off the foul, shake off the contact play through, especially when it puts them 2 points away from wrapping up this game. Lewis and Clark playing some gritty defense there, really making windows difficult. Lots of pressure. But the score does not reflect their effort.
Excuse me, that was Ned Cutler with the goal. He's all smiles, but did have to take some contact there to bring that one in. Max Rogers out there on defensive line. Nice to have Duville Bodwin be able to play both ways. A player who's played on the U20 team back in 2022, winning a gold medal. So you have that experience. He can do it both. Lefty. Need I say more? He's with the pole right now. Look at that.
Leo, do you think this game between Lewis and Clark and Middlebury, does it have the most lefties on the field of any
I've
match
ever seen before.
This tournament? Okay, I was just going to say this tournament.
I think ever. I've never seen this many lefties on the field.
It's a lot. We got to hit at least 6. And on occasion, 3 of them on one line. I love it. It is an absolute cheat code.
Wagner's throw too far, and things really starting to pile up for Bacchus. They're going to have to really make a big D stand, but Duville Bodwin has other ideas. Throw hanging up. Saving effort. Aiden DiLorenzo.
Teammates almost D'd each other, but instead DiLorenzo comes up with that win up huge and way too early. But the second effort brings it home. Middlebury 14-1 point away, Theo, from wrapping this game up and taking their place, earning the bye tomorrow. They can almost taste it.
See Wagner trying to look for Farley, and Farley kind of blew a tire, but the throw was going pretty far to the sideline there. And now Duville Bodwin, his throw catches a little bit, as you can see in the replay, rain coming down a little bit more than we've seen throughout this contest.
But the focus, that big effort, yeah, and it's hard to see right now, but there is a wind. There's a headwind for that throw, and that's where you see it pop up like that. But by committing that early, defense also committed with him. What an incredible play by DiLorenzo.
Last year, this team finished 5th. They dropped a contest to Richmond in the quarterfinal. They last won a title all the way back in 2019. They're one of the stalwart programs out here consistently at nationals and trying to go for a big one right now and showing some of their might in what many anticipate to be a close contest. Right now it's 14-8. The floodgates really opened here for them.
Yeah, Middlebury has definitely turned on the gas. And you can see Lewis and Clark, this would be huge for Middlebury if they could break one more time to take the game.
Let's fix it and then keep counting, but at one lower.
Coming on 2.
Coming.
Inside shot over to London. Finding Bray. Bray's been very involved on offense. 3 goals to his name.
You saw that disc sail a little bit. Wagner made a nice adjustment. But Wynn definitely picking up just a little bit.
Batia finding Bray. You hear the melt being called or fire from this Middlebury sideline. Another secondary D-line look we're seeing as the score margin has widened a bit, that they've thrown in a couple more of those depth pieces for their team, getting them valuable experience. London hits Wagner for the hold.
Good clean hold there. Lewis and Clark has made it well out of half. Still down 5 to Middlebury. Now Middlebury will receive with a chance to put the disc away.
Wagner shy of the camera as he tried to avoid it at the end there, but he gets the grab and the hold.
We saw that with Rice from Middlebury in the first half too. Little runaway from the camera.
Rain starting to pour down here, but we still got action coming for you. So if you're watching the free YouTube stream right now, we do appreciate you, YouTube audience. You can head over to ultiworld.com and get yourself a subscription to catch all the action of the D3 Ultimate Championships as well as the D1 Championships that are taking place next week. You'll get semis. You'll get lots of action. Come on. You can also get Carleton Women's, Middlebury Women's, 3:15 local time.
Yeah, I'll be on that stream. Looking forward to it. That's going to be one heck of a matchup. Middlebury really dominating so far on their women's team on the pool play. Carleton had a little bit rougher row. We'll see how things shake out. Heard a couple people tell me that Carleton is overrated.
Okay. Oh, they're watching that. They're not going to like to hear that. Hardle rocking the orange hat now instead of the usual wings I've seen. So I like the little wardrobe change here in the middle of the game. Perhaps he didn't want to get the hat wet as the rain's coming down. That's going to be my justification. I won't ask him about that after the game, I promise you. Trying to get some rain cover of the abundance of fans here. Umbrellas out now as the rain has started to pour down, and we expect it all weekend, so this is going to be a factor. And we thought maybe coming into this contest that Bacchus, as a team that plays out of Portland, Oregon, that they would have a significant advantage in that way, but Middlebury's been able to figure out in the first 2 games with the weather, and certainly shown that in this contest as well. Impus crossing over to this D-line. Love that. Working against Mans instead of the Swerin.
Love that matchup. The foot speed action.
Swerin actually not on the field right now for this Lewis and Clark side.
A lot of pressure being created by this Lewis and Clark defense. You can see them forcing middle, really fronting down the line, creating some tight windows, and Middlebury's being very cautious. They want to value this possession and instead throw it into the defense.
Normally you see a player like try to bend down to bat that disc, but Bhatia just stuck the foot out. Technically legal, able to do that.
It almost made it playable, Theo.
That's true. London's hammer swatted away by Ned Cutler. Malamed looking for it all. Good effort there from Rice, but couldn't bring it in with the left hand. There were so many players there. I counted like at least 6 in the area. If you've been on the playground, that's like that 500.
Yeah, it got messy. What you call a hospital pass. London looking. That's a little tight, Crippa. You can see him kind of stretching out. Definitely has borne a burden of points this game.
Clap catch not working out there for Bacchus at a short field opportunity. This would be a hold as they look to seal this contest. Great fake from Hartle. What a throw and fake there from Hartle to end it. Finishes the game in style as Middlebury takes this contest and the pool, defeating Lewis and Clark 15-9.
Bookmark that one, folks. That was a classic. Extended out, really committed to that fake, and then just smooth inside, hitting Mans as he was clearing that cone. That was gorgeous.
Middlebury's fired up because they got a bye to the quarterfinals right there with a huge commanding victory.
So that's a dominant statement by Middlebury, taking down Lewis and Clark just in commanding fashion. I think they says, hey, Davenport, we coming for you.
Oh, yes, they are. I believe they're saying that for sure.
Now watch this again. The fake, fully commitment by Stahl, and then wide open Peter Mans to shut down the game. Watch the finger celly and the spike. Doing it in style.
Ending it in style is our person that we're interviewing right now, Garrett Hartle. Thank you for joining us, and first of all, congratulations. 3-0 victories there in pool play, heading off to the quarterfinal. Tell us what you're feeling right now.
It's super fun to come out and have a good Saturday, and to the best of my knowledge, I think we're done today, so that's super fun.
Yes, you are.
A theme for us this season has definitely been getting better every half of Frisbee we've played, and definitely from this morning to that half, we totally did that. And yeah, the team's just great. We're fired up. Just excited to be going into tomorrow.
Ben, tell me about the Wings hat.
The Wings hat, I got robbed at the end there. Respect to Ultiworld, but it's at Middlebury we have something called Flair that we really like, and this is a piece of Flair that I received from an old prankster named Max Hanscom. It's been traditionally passed down through what we call the Lanksters. So
translation, tall
people.
It's
a piece I'm proud of, and it's great to be part of the team. Yeah.
Carol, your teammates are excited right now. What's the messaging going forward as you head into that quarterfinal round?
I don't even know who we're going to play. We're going to play a great game. It's going to be awesome. We're going to go have a good night at the Airbnb tonight, and I hope they wear my Wings hat tomorrow.
We'll let you have that. Thank you for joining us, Garrett. All the best of the rest of this tournament.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Middlebury bringing the energy right now. They're loving life. They're heading to the quarterfinal round. Feeling good. He's got the Wings hat back on. And we saw some big plays from this Middlebury side. We say commanding victory. Lewis and Clark had spurts of greatness, but not able to string it together for multiple points.
One of those points of greatness, just the athletic plays by Farley. But the pressure from pranksters was undeniable. Couple things definitely went Lewis and Clark's way. There were some smooth moments, but most of the smoothness and a lot of the scores coming from Middlebury. loved that heads-up athletic replay and that fake. As much as I was shouting out Impens, Stahl putting on the class act and clinic of how to fake out your mark.
Middlebury off to the quarterfinal round. They defeat Lewis and Clark 15-9.